Do me a favor. I want you to put in the comments, what is the oldest and the youngest you will date? I know some of us, we did it earlier, but I want to do it again. What's the youngest and the oldest you'll date? If you think this is going to be a dope discussion, man, like, share it, tag it. If not, okay. What's the youngest you will date? What's the oldest you'll date? If, for example, if I'm 30 years old, which I am not, but if I'm 30 years old, is it okay for me to date someone that's 21 years old? If I'm 30 years old, is it okay for me to date somebody who is 50 years old? Like, what's the lady's name? Ro. She's Country Wayne put her on, right? In his skits on Instagram. She's not 70, y'all. She's 54. She's 54. So if I started dating someone her age, can I do that? It's some and me being my age, I'm mid 30s. Do I look mid 30s? All right. So me being mid 30s, is she dating me too young if she's 54? Am I too young? No, I said that wrong. Am I too young for her if she's 54? And is a 21 or 22 or 23-year-old young lady, is she too young for me? Let me see what the comments are saying. Let's go. Age has nothing to do with maturity. All right. Let me see. 45 is the oldest. 28 is the youngest. That's what Cadelia said. Dr. Jill said younger, not doing it. Older, 5 to 6 years. Dr. Jill said younger, not doing it. Mr. Lawson said youngest 30, oldest 50. Oh! But Mr. Lawson just had a birthday. So I feel you. I feel you. All right. Whitney said 26, youngest, oldest 33. Precious said no younger than me, up to 10 to 12 years older. All right. Youngest, my age, oldest, 8 to 10 years older than me. All right. 5 to 6 years older than me. Elder K said youngest 32, oldest 43. Whoa! 43. All right. But Elder K is not, she ain't 20 something. So that makes sense. I feel you. I feel you. Youngest 1 year younger. Oldest maximum 8 years. All right. This is interesting. My sister said 5 or so years younger. What? Really? Carlton said, my rule is never dated anyone 4 years younger and no age limit on older when I was single. My beautiful sister, what? You said 5 or so years younger? Did you mean to type that? Victoria, my sister said, you can, 3 years older. Brandy said 5 to 7 years older than me. All right. So I think we need to have this conversation. I'm going to give you guys something that we can consider about these are some pros and cons. No one, hear me. No one is right or wrong. No, you can do what you want to do, but we do need to know that there are pros and cons. BY says max 7 years older, no one younger. Jess says no one younger than me and up to 12 years older. Lynn says no more than 8 years older, same age, no one younger. Felicia said when I was single, never anyone my age or younger, 5 years older. Yeah, so hear me. There are pros and cons. I don't want to even use consequences. I'll say pros and cons. Then we got to go because I got to eat. All right. There are pros and cons to dating younger and older. So it's about your preference and what you're willing to go through. So I'm going to start with some things I found are cons to dating younger. All right. So Shelby said age doesn't have anything to do with maturity. Let's discuss that for a moment. Number one, get this, y'all. Dating, ladies, y'all need to understand this, ladies. If you're going to date an older man, these are some things I think you need to consider. All right. Number one, watch this. Someone older than you may or may not have, I'll say this. He may have a lot more or a lot less time for you. He may have a lot more or a lot less time for you. All right. Now, this is important. Now, so let's look at it from two perspectives. So it depends on how much older he is. It depends on what he's accomplished. It depends on what he's established. For example, if he's older, he may have a lot more time on his hand, and he may want to spend it with you, but you are still building your life. You're still working a 9 to 5. So there are certain things that he may want to do in the morning. He may want to spend the morning with you, and you can't because you have to go to work. And so he may have to deal with you can't come out of the house until after 5 when you get off work. Right? He may have more time on his hand, or he may not have time for you at all because he could still be building and busy, and he may have to he may be able to see you every 2 or 3 days because of where he is in his career. CEO, he runs a company, whatever it is. So it depends. He may have more or less time on his hand. Number two, get this, y'all. Number two, you may not be as emotionally mature as he is. You may not be as emotionally mature as he is. And we need to understand that if you are younger, you may not be as mature as he is. We need to listen. We understand that maturity doesn't have an age to it and all of that. But let's just kind of let's just use our common sense that typically when you're older, you've experienced more things, you've had more relationships, you've seen more things. So exposure and experience automatically puts you, and age, it tends to, you emotionally can develop. It's expected that you're more emotionally developed than someone that's younger. We know that age doesn't mean you're more mature, but if one has endured more things, if one has endured, I thought my signal went out. If one has seen life, endured more in life, seen more things, etc., that person probably is a little bit more mature than you. Even though you may think you're mature, you will find out in the relationship you're not as mature as you may think you are. All of us, we think we are mature until we get around people who are more mature. Conversation, how we respond to life, like, for example, at my age, I'm frustrated with the whole, this thing is not working for me, and I'm frustrated with that. I'm like, yo, just make it happen. Like, let's press, find a way, find a strategy, A, B, C, and D. So the complaint that kind of gets under my skin, right? And so sometimes that's my age. That's a little bit more of I've experienced a little bit more. I've been there. I know it's not as bad as someone may be thinking that it is, but they can only see it from their limited scope. If you're 25, 26, 27 years old, of course you think that if you don't have any money, the world is over and that life is beating you up and so forth. And I'm saying I've already been there, and all you have to do is A, B, C, and D, patience, hard work, blah, 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 blah. You'll eventually get there. So the responses can be a little more an older person, if you're younger, your response, your perspective, and older people tend to say things like, well, I'm gonna always ask this question, right? I'm gonna always say, because when you're young, you think you know every single thing, and so I've heard people say, well, I know that this is this and that, and my question is, well, how many places have you gone? How many cities have you lived in? Do you have a passport? How many countries have you traveled to? Have you traveled at all? How many places outside of your city have you gone to? How many? All of those things. So you cannot conclude on a lot of things if you've not experienced a lot of things, right? So what's my point? My point is, when a person is a little older, they've had more experiences, it tends to help them mature, grow, etc. And you may be so you'll date an older person and you'll realize that you may frustrate them a lot quicker, not because you're frustrating, but because you may not be as mature. So sometimes you all have to either work together. That person has to understand your age and you have to understand their maturity. And get this, it's okay. It's okay. Everyone has a right to decide that. Everyone has a right. Listen, ain't nobody putting a gun to my head saying you better date somebody younger, and nobody's putting a gun to your head saying you better date somebody older. You have to decide if these are the types of conflicts you're willing to deal with. It's simple. It's simple. Hey, and you got to be honest and upfront. Yo, the maturity level, we're different. We're in different directions. All right, let's move on. All right. So you might discover that you might not be emotionally mature as you think. Humble down and be like, I'm not on your level yet. Don't try to pretend like you're something that you're not. And get this. Listen, if you're younger, if you decide to stay, that's another thing before we move on. If you decide to stay, that person is not supposed to come down to your maturity level. They can be a little bit more patient and compassionate, but you may have to kind of, elevate in maturation. You may have to grow. It is okay. Hear me. It's okay to say, all right, this is a challenge. I may need to challenge I may need to be challenged in how I respond and how I listen and how I engage. You may have to grow up a little quicker if you decide to stay in that relationship. Don't expect them to come down to your level. Don't expect that. We understand, be patient. We understand all of that. But if you decide to stay in that situation, it's okay to say, all right, I need to grow. Now, how do I grow in that? All right, it's okay to ask questions and get a person. And this is what you should. All right, let's keep going. All right, because I'll be preaching. All right, number 3. This is a consequence of dating older, y'all. There might be an ex-wife or children. There might be an ex-wife or children. There might be an ex-wife or children. You got to know that stuff may pop up. If he's older, he may have been married before. He may have children your age. Yeah, hey, look, y'all. It's cool when y'all sleeping together until there's like an event, and the daughters and the son, they walk in, and y'all graduated and were born the same year. Yeah, drill, yeah. Look, and we don't have to have a discussion about ex-wife and children okay, they may not be your age, but children. So children means child support. If I have children, that means they have a mother. So I have to keep in contact with the ex-wife. And the children may have to come over, and the wife or the ex-wife may have to drop them off. So there is a lot of times there is no avoiding coming in contact with the ex. And then let's say you all get married. Now, hear me. Now you got to go through, all right, the children will come over. You have your set of rules. And then they go home and the children, listen, kids are going to be kids. She said she hit me. She slapped my hand and told me not to do. And so now ex-wife calling ex-husband, don't let that old floozy touch my car. Now you a floozy. Don't let the old husband touch my car. You got your little young little husband. Right? Now you're in some drama. You have to think about that. Oh, let's not talk about child support, buddy. So y'all married, but we got about $500 to $1,000 going to child support. All of this stuff you got to consider. You feel what I'm saying? You got to consider all of this. All right. Number 5, your life trajectories could be headed in 2 different directions. Now we understand that you could be your focus, your future, your dreams, the path, the journey that you're on could be different it could be different, period, no matter what the age is. But get this. What if you're still excited about grinding and exploring and he or she, they just chilling? They don't want to go nowhere. They've done that already. So now you're talking to your homegirls about he ain't adventurous. It's not that he's not adventurous. He's had his adventure. He chilling. He want to go to the cigar lounge, go fishing, go play cards. And you want to go to main event and shoot the basketball. He don't want to go to main event. He tired. And so now you've made a mistake. You haven't made a mistake. Life is different. You all have you want to travel the world. He's already traveled the world, or he may not have the energy to do that. So did you marry the wrong person, or you have, hear me. When you're in a relationship, you have to sit down and figure out, hey, what are your goals? What are my goals? Do we have the same goals, or can we work together in goals? Can we compromise that? But understand that if a man is older, because I'm getting into some other stuff in a minute. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. If a man is older, or if a woman is older, he or she may not be going in the same direction that you're going. You're trying to change the world. You want to be the next Malcolm X. Well, he marched with Malcolm. He marched with Martin. He knew them personally. Right? You feel what I'm saying? So you have to consider those things. You have to consider that. You have to consider that. All right, let's keep going. Here's my favorite one. Your sex drives may be different. Your sex drive may be different. If you're dating, or if you get with someone that's older, let's say you're 27, let's say you're 28, 29, and you're dating a guy that's 40, 42. Yeah, he has money. Yeah, we understand Viagra. Viagra, based upon what I know, it does not create the desire. It helps you to perform. We're talking about his desire. You may want to have sex 3-4 times because, listen, you just got out of high school an hour ago. What does that mean? You were just a cheerleader in the back of the bus doing the nasty. He's older, or she's older. Sex drive, all of that stuff, it changes as you age. And we can say that over the phone. Oh, I ain't gonna ever lose my sex drive. Oh, you this your boy. I got it. We can do all that, right? However, the reality of it is, as we get older, the sex drive does change. So you have to consider energy level, all of performance level, all of those things will change. If you date somebody 10, 12, 15 years your senior, you have to assume that their bodies are different. My sister said he got to be vegan if he's older. That's what she thinks the answer to all the world's problems is go vegan. An older person has an older body. Let's understand that. Now, if God grants you long life, you will have an older body. It's not anything to judge. It's not anything to say. And get this, don't say anything rude or disrespectful. Don't do that. Understand that someone older has an older body. Whatever your age is, hear me. Get this. Would you watch this, y'all? Let me put it to you like this. Would you drive a 50-year-old car? Hear what I'm trying to tell you. Would you drive a 50-year-old car? We know that there are cars that are drivable. Here's the point I'm trying to make. Would you expect the same performance from a 50-year-old car versus a car that's 5 or 10 years old? Unless someone took good care of that car, it's not going to perform at its maximum level. Do you get rid of the car? Do you beat it? No. You take care. You have to take more care. You have to take better care of it. My point is, you have to think of bodies like that. Look, I ain't gonna tell you my age, but I remember during the pandemic, I thought I was gonna go outside and just sprint. Now, of course, I had an injury, but I just thought I was gonna go out there and sprint because I remember I used to run. I used to be a fast runner. I went outside and what? My whole body was like, "Ha!" I laugh in your stupidity. That's what my body said to me. So I had to condition myself to get back to that place. But what I'm saying is, listen, an older person has an older body. Can they perform? It depends on how well they take care of themselves. So you say, okay, I'm gonna date somebody that's 50 years old. Well, a 50-year-old person, you say, okay, I can date them, but I need someone that takes care of themselves. I need someone that has a diet. I need someone that works out all the time. All of these things are important. So understand that. Do not expect someone that's older to function like you. All right. Number 6, your communication styles might be different. People who are older, they communicate differently. Number 7, you get a sneak peek of their future. What does that mean? Older person, you can see how they're going to look as they get older. That's important. You date somebody same age, both of y'all 27, y'all gonna be discovering together. Got to get an app. Right? You date somebody older, you kind of see how they're going to look as they age. Everybody is going to age. There might be, number 8, there might be a cultural gap there. The cultural gap is different. The cultural gap is different. Meaning this, he or she may not be interested in TikTok, Instagram. Every time you turn around, you want to take a picture. Every time you get with him, you got your phone out. He may not be into that because of the culture. She may not be into that. All of that stuff is fine, but don't get frustrated. Understand their age. The cultural gap is important, right? I pastor millennials. And I'm not that much older than them, but most of them about 8 to 10 years older. So if I'm sitting around and say, do you know, I may name an artist, and half of them are like, who is that? Who is Tupac? You what? The cultural gap is different. So if the cultural gap is different, their preferences, what they draw to, what they like may be different. Unless a person is culturally intuitive, if you will, they are progressive, there may be a cultural gap and you have to be okay with that. How they seek, watch this, how they raise children. He may be used to the switch. Look, millennials, You ain't beating nobody, child. You going to jail. When I was grown, we just go out there and wash the clothes and put them on the line. The discipline may be different. So you have to come together and say, hey, how are we going to work? How are we going to raise children? How are we going to interact with all of those things are very, very important if you're going to date someone older, right? Let's keep going. Financial responsibilities may be different. Financial responsibilities may be different, y'all. He's into stocks, you into stockings. I'm stupid. Right? Financial responsibilities might not mesh well together. All right? And I'm done there. All right, let me give you disadvantages of dating younger, and then I'm gone. Number one, younger men can be childish. Younger men can be childish. They're younger, more emotional, trying to prove a whole lot. So their response, their interactions, their activities may be a little childish. How they say certain things may not have a certain level of discipline. Could be a little childish. Number two, younger men may not commit as much as an older guy. The relationship, they may not put titles on relationship as quickly. Okay? You need to understand that. A younger man may not call you his girlfriend right off. If he's having, listen, if a younger guy is having sex with you and y'all are, you're doing all the wife stuff, he's not about to just put on a title and then rush you down the aisle. It's just not going to happen. A younger man is not this. A lot of younger men are not as quick to like get into very, very committed relationships. You need to understand that. So there's nothing wrong with you. Don't be like, oh, I'm rejected. No, he's young. He's not, hear me, 26, 25, 24, 27. Unless that cat is like really ready to get married, he's not about to say, okay, yeah, let's get married. We're about to date and we're about to be exclusive. Everybody's going to know it. I'm going to announce it to everybody. And a younger guy may have somebody else or five on the side. He's young. So you need to know that. Understand that. All right. Number three, young men sometimes lack employment or the type of jobs they may have. A young man may not have a lot of money, so don't expect a necklace every month. He may not have a lot of money. He's not established yet. You all will have fun. He has a lot more. He has a lot more energy than an older guy. All of that, a lot more spontaneous. Y'all can get up 2 o'clock in the morning and go to the IHOP. He ain't tired and sleepy. Older man ain't getting up 2 o'clock in the morning to get no IHOP. He's not doing it. An older guy may fall asleep on the movie. A younger guy, y'all could watch 2. Have sex, watch another movie. A younger guy may not have as much money. He may have more time, more energy, but he may not have a lot of money. Because a lot of younger guys don't have stable jobs. And if they do have jobs, they're not making $50,000 and $60,000 a year. And let's not even, now, and then somebody's gonna say this, well, some of them is. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the average. Stop. We're talking about the average. The average young man, 25, 26, he's trying to get his footing. He's trying to get his career off the ground. So he may not be able to buy you all the shoes in the world. Anything you need, he got you. Right? May not happen like that. So you need to understand that before you date younger. You can have fun, but you may not have funds. Younger guy, you could have fun, but you may not have funds. Watch this. With a younger guy, he may be borrowing money from you. Y'all may be, he may be asking you, "This about some gas money." You heard me? So you need to understand that.